Okay, so I've known Jim and Jessica and the whole family for many, many years. And, you know, sometimes when somebody says I'm a child of poetry, they're probably speaking poetic, right? But I am an actual child of poetry. In 1949, my parents met when my father picked up my mother hitchhiking on the way to a little lake. And they started talking, and my mother mentioned that sometimes she performed at a little hotel by the lake at what we would call an open mic night. And my father said, I write poems, and I always wanted to hear it out loud. Would you do it? And my mother said, I don't know, let me see it. Well, he showed it to her. She did it. It must have went well because I was born a year later.
The show was a year, Renard.
So the poem was called The Bus. And when my father lived in the Bronx, and every day he had to take a hot, crowded city bus to Manhattan, where he went to was probably a trade school. And so he wrote this poem, and this is the one my mother read, and I liked it. And I just want to say my father had a lot of what we call in the tribe chutzpah, because he sent out his poems to Walter Winchell. Most of you know Walter Winchell, top radio personality, and to the New Yorker magazine. And he would write these little things on. So this is what he opened the poem with. He said, "Gentlemen, these hot summer days just ooze this ode out of me. Wipe your brow and read on." So he says this to the New Yorker. All right. So the bus. Hark! I spied an empty seat as I was pushed in from the street. The crowd was thick. I gasped for air. And still, I noticed no one there. I pushed and squirmed and turned, for this was the day I always yearned, at last a seat. After all these years, the thought was enough to give me tears. Excuse me, lady, I did not see. Pardon me, mister, was that your knee? These apologies I had to make, for I fought for the seat I was to take. Almost there now, but not quite. A little more and I'll have won my fight. But wait, a depressing sound I hear. The conductor saying, "Please step to the rear." Oh no, it can't be. But yes, it's true. I'm losing ground. What shall I do? I'm being taken to the back by the never-ending the sardine pack. I've grown weak from all this strain. Body and soul, I'm racked with pain. And still I spy that vacant seat, the crowd around upon their feet. The sight impressed me as being odd, or maybe it is the will of God, that I should be there in that space for the sufferings endured by the human race. I may be wrong, it may be so, but now again I'm on the go. I straightened up with body tense. A last-minute prayer I now commence. I fought and pushed and fought. Now I'm near what I always sought. I thrust my body for the advance. Now on that seat I have my pants. A triumph great I have achieved. The pain I bore is now relieved. But wait. The bus has stopped, I see. The crowd is leaving. What can it be? I looked at the driver. He looked at me. Last stop I heard, regrettably. With weakened knees, I rose to my feet and started slowly towards the street. Descending from that vehicle, body cold as an icicle, I resolved this as the street I hit. Never again shall I attempt to sit. My mother read that to at this little hotel, and that was the beginning, and that's So here, there's a cool addendum to this. My father's been gone for about 7 years. My mother's 96 now. She's doing great. She's doing well. I go visit every couple of weeks. She lives on Long Island in New York. And you know, at a certain time, you start clearing out the closets and the drawers. And so I was doing that, and I came upon a leather-bound portfolio. I opened it up, and there were my father's original poems from 1949. The bus was in there, okay? I brought the portfolio.
That is a super clever poem.
My father. Some of you have met my father. You know, there's a lot of stuff. So anyway, I brought this portfolio down to show my mother. And she opens it up and she says, "He never showed me this." And she starts reading. And I sat there for about an hour and a half while she read every word. And some of the poems she read twice. And I'm thinking, here it is, 77 years later, and these poems are still speaking to her as if, and this was something new. She'd not seen so, and there was one called Felice. My mother's name's Felice. And I thought, poetry, what a powerful medium. So, thank you. All right. So, taking on his inspiration, I am a songwriter.
Have a seat, Jess.
Yeah, Jess, this is for you. I'm a songwriter and a poet. So, Jim asked me to do one of my songs for Jessica's birthday, which is when?
Oh yeah, February 22nd.
All right.
How old are you now, Jeff?
40. I know you're 40.
So there's an interesting story of how this song got written. We were doing an environmental concert. Some of you may remember the Tannersville Inn. And attention please. That's my wife. We were doing this concert, and one of the other presenters was a psychic reader. And after the show, we were invited, all of us, to have dinner, okay? And I was sitting exactly across from the psychic reader, and everybody's talking. All of a sudden, he goes like this. He beckons me to come so I can hear what he's saying. He says, "They want you to write a song called Beyond My Steps." I knew immediately what it was about. I went home that night and wrote it, and here it is. Jim wanted me to do it for you. Little feet, little hands, all our future, all our plans, and take me out beyond my steps and let my heart go on. Little eyes, little smile, hold me close for just a little while and take us out beyond our steps and let my heart go on. Take me out and onward, keeping you I'll never die. We'll find the peace of ages together, you and I. Little song, little sigh, go to sleep now, close your eyes and dream us out beyond our steps and let my heart go on. Take me out and onward, keeping you on the on the steps and let my heart go Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you, Renard. And Sean and Jim. Nice try making it about my birthday, but anyways.
I think it worked.